Hey there, it's CJ Willie and I'm cracking a pack. Today is pack number 7 in my Magic the Gathering Ikoria Lair of Behemoths bundle. Check out my preview video on my Ikoria bundle as I explain the concept of what is your pick. I've added the link to the preview video in the description below. So let's get out pack number 7. So we've got 3 more packs to go. As I go through this, I'm going to explain what is pack 1, pick 1. So my friends and I, we get together in a play group. There's 4 of us. We do a booster box draft. Typical draft, 3 rounds of draft. And then the only difference is we don't keep our rares or mythic rares after each round. When the entire draft or all 3 rounds are done, we put the rares and mythic rares into the middle of the table based upon how you finished. If you finished first, you get first pick, second pick. As I explained in the preview video, I was able to draft a Luca, a Lurus, and the Sultai Triome Showcase. So anyway, as I go through this pack, I'm gonna it's really from a casual Magic the Gathering player point of view. I'm going to talk about the cards based upon how I would draft it in our booster box draft with my friends. So as a reminder, it's a very casual viewpoint, but unique. First common is Blade Banish. It's 4 mana, 3 and a white. It's an instant. Exile target creature with power 4 or greater. This is okay. You would think, as this set being Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths, that there would be a lot of monster creatures running around. I mean, you're definitely mutating creatures, but you know, there aren't a ton of creatures that have power 4 or greater. Though in white it's useful, you hang on to it later in the game when they play their bomb, utilize this and get rid of it. It's great that it exiles it, because if they've mutated a number of creatures, they don't go to the graveyard, they go to exile. Next card is Keep Safe. 2 mana, 1 and a blue. It's an instant. Counter target spell that targets a permanent you control, and then draw a card. I wanted to really like this, and since I like playing blue, one of the rounds I featured blue, and I had a couple of copies of these in my deck, mainly because it was my only way to protect my creatures. I don't know how many times I sat with this card in my hand and not a creature to protect. After I think the first round, and then halfway through the next round, I pulled them out and put in other cards. My blue-white deck just didn't function as it typically does. So I don't know. It wasn't as great as I thought it would be. And I like Turnicide, which is 1 mana. You don't draw a card, but it's a lot easier to hold up a single blue than 2 mana. Dark Bargain, 4 mana, 3 and a black. It's an instant. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Dark Bargain deals 2 damage to you. So I reprint from Dominaria. I didn't play with it too much in Dominaria, and this time around I don't even think I saw it when, well, I probably saw it, but I wasn't drafting black. I don't know that anyone used it. It didn't seem to be a great card in the Ikoria set. Blister Split. No, here we go. Blister Split Gremlin is 1 red. It's a gremlin. It's a 1/1. You can pay 1 generic, tap Blister Split Gremlin, deals 1 damage to each opponent whenever you cast a non-creature spell. Untap Blister Split Gremlin. I don't know. I played red in one of the rounds. I didn't draft this. I don't know that anyone else drafted it. It just seemed to kind of be an odd card in the Ikoria set. So I don't really have much rating wise, other than on face value, drafting and playing with an Ikoria doesn't seem to be anything that would be great. However, I'm sure that there is some sort of build around with a more you know, blue-red spellsy sort of deck in which this could work. Greater Soundworm, reprint from Amonkhet block, 7 mana, 5 and 2 green. It's a worm. It's a 7/7. Greater Soundworm can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, cycling for 2. I like Greater Soundworm in my Obzon deck. I played 1 copy of this, and I was able to do some work. In fact, I know a couple of games that I was able to win because I used removal to get their bigger creature off the board, and the rest of the creatures that my opponent had were power 2 or less. So it's a big beefy, and even though it doesn't have trample, it has pseudo evasion. Thieving Otter, 3 mana, 2 and a blue. It's an otter. It's a 2/2. Whenever Thieving Otter deals damage to an opponent, draw a card. This is an okay card. In my blue-white deck, I ran 1 copy of it. The cool thing was I was able to mutate Vulpikeet on it, give it flying, and I got 2 turns of dealing damage and drawing a card before it got, plummeted. If it wasn't for giving it evasion like flying, Thieving Otter is no good because it's rarely going to get in for damage, and when it does attack, it's probably going to die because by the time it attacks on turn 4, they've got something that'll block it and kill it. Dreamtail Heron with a really cool showcase art. 5 mana, 4 and a blue. It's an elemental bird at 3/4. It's a flyer. This creature mutates, draw a card, mutate 4. So I had a little bit of success mutating this onto like a mysterious egg. So it ended up being a 4/5 flyer and I'd get a card out of it. I was able to have that happen a couple of times in a blue-white flyer deck. Dreamtail Heron, if you're able to mutate it on, turn 4, and you get a card out of it, even a 3/4 flyer on turn 4 that draws you a card is pretty cool. It's like a Wretched Griff sort of card. Okay, Survivor's Bond, 2 mana, 1 and a green. It's a sorcery. Choose one or both. Return target human creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Return target non-human creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Green's set up to where you're probably going to pair it with a color that's got humans. It's going to have non-humans. I think I drafted it once, and when I had the opportunity to play it, it really only got back 1 creature because I didn't have both creature types in my graveyard, though I did have it played against me, and it wrecked my face because I killed off a couple of really good creatures, both a human and non-human, and my friend was able to play it and bring them right back to their hand and then play them again, so it was pretty annoying. Spontaneous Flight, 3 mana, 2 and a white. It's instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Put a flying counter on it. I love this card. Obviously it gives a creature flying with the counter, and it's a good combat trick. There are a number of times that I was able to blow out my opponent by playing this and then giving a creature, though it wasn't the biggest creature in the world, something that was a 3/3, 3 power, 4 power flying. It was pretty cool. I like Spontaneous Flight. Rumbling Rockslide, 4 mana, 3 and a red. It's a sorcery. Rumbling Rockslide deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control. I like this. I know it's sorcery speed, but by the time you play it on turn 4, it's probably going to deal 4 damage. There's a number of times where I just kind of sat on it until I had 6 land, and then it took out the biggest creature on my opponent's side. So, in red removal, it's probably not something you want to play in your red-white cycling deck that is going to tend to be aggressive. But let's say in red-black, red-green, it's going to come down and deal with a problematic creature. Sorcerer speed slows it down a little bit, but not too bad. Okay, first uncommon is Boon of the Wishgiver, 6 mana, 4 and 2 white. It's a sorcery. Draw 4 cards, cycling 1. I like this card a lot. I'm a sucker for drawing cards. Cycling on it is pretty nice because at least you can draw 1 card off of it. But being able to draw 4 cards, I played it in a more of a control blue deck, and there are a couple of times where I could take off turn 6 to play it and draw 4 more cards, refuel my hand. I definitely wouldn't want to play it in a deck that is not controlling or is not built for the late game. But I like it. It's probably not the best card in the world because I'm biased a little bit to blue, but I liked it quite a bit. Next is Alert Heat Bonder. It's 3 mana, 1, and then Hybrid Silencia. It's a human scout. It's a 2/4. It has Vigilance. At the beginning of your end step, you gain 1 life for each creature you control with Vigilance. I didn't see this card going around in the blue-white deck I was playing where I featured a little bit of Vigilance creatures. This would have fit in really well. I think we probably got like 1 out of our box, and it got drafted by someone else. It's a card that I don't know how often I play because the gaining 1 life is kind of incidental, but being able to slap a solid footing on it and have a creature that's dealing 4 damage could be a pretty good trick. Our final uncommon is Sanctuary Lockdown. So 3 mana, it's an enchantment. Humans you control get +1/+1. You can pay 2 generic mana, tap 2 untapped humans you control, tap target creature and opponent controls. I don't know about this. I think it'd be a little bit more difficult in draft to pull this off, even sealed. Building, a mono humans deck or a heavy humans deck is a little bit of a task. But I think in more of a standard constructed environment, this definitely has something of value and can do some work. But draft-wise, nah. Okay, do we have a cool rare and mythic rare? We have Lava Brink Venturer, 3 mana, 2 and a white. It's a human soldier. It's a 3/3. As Lava Brink Venturer enters the battlefield, choose odd or even. 0 is even, remember. Lava Brink Venturer has protection from each converted mana cost or the chosen value. So funny story, in our box, we got a foil version of this and a regular version. So the foil version came first. My friend drafted it. He played it, and it did a ton of work for him against the rest of us, the other 3 of us. The funny thing was, in the next round, the regular version was there. I didn't do it as pack one, pick one, but I did draft it, and it did not do anything at all. In fact, it pretty much died every single turn because the value that I chose, for whatever goofy reason, the one card in their deck that was not even versus the multitude of odd was the one that dealt with it. And so really disappointing, because I had seen it in the previous round do a lot of work, and then for me it didn't do any work. Maybe it was, the choice I made, either even or odd, or it was just the way I'd constructed my deck, but nah, I was really sad with it. Sweetwater Cliffs, and then, oh great, an add token. Why can't this just be a creature token instead of a stupid add card? Because all the creature tokens have add cards on the back of them. Anyway, what would be my pack one, pick one out of this? For me, looking through the pack and what I think I could get around, I mean, it might be a blue-white deck. It's probably, Boon of the Wishgiver is blue, and I like blue, but in this particular one, because it's not the strongest uncommon, I would choose Lava Brink Venturer. I think it's definitely a deck that I could, that can build around, and I think it's something that could win me a few games, because it could be difficult to deal with the uncommons being kind of weak, and not really. I probably early on wouldn't take any of these commons, because some of them would come around. Yeah, my pick would be Lava Brink Venturer. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please subscribe and share. Take some time to tell me in the comment section what was your pack one, pick one. Until next time, when I'm back to crack pack number 8 in my Magic the Gathering Ikoria Lair of Behemoths, what is your pick?